Hey Claudia, it's been a little while since I've last seen you, so I'm curious to hear what's going on. How have you been?
It's been okay, I guess. So last time I was here, I think I talked about kind of balancing being independent, but also wanting to see my family and the weird pulls that puts on me. Um, I have had I'd say a stressful couple of weeks on that side of things again. Not so much school right now. School's a lot, but I think I have gotten a handle on it now, at least on how to manage what's going on. But with my family, I'm trying to think. My parents called me last weekend because I've been behind. I work camp every summer, and I've been behind on schoolwork since this training weekend in early January, just trying to catch up with all of my classes. And so I decided last weekend before midterms next week that I was going to catch up on everything. And by doing that, I was like, well, all right, I'm going to sit home, and do all this schoolwork. It'll be great. It'll be fine. And I had hurt myself that week working out, so it was just like, it'll be great. I'll just stay home. So I stayed home all weekend, but I got a call from my parents, and love my dad, but he likes to do the guilt trip. I think that every dad likes to do a little bit, never on purpose, and always feels bad immediately after, but just asked the wrong question at the wrong time. And he was calling me, and he was like, hey, so what are you doing? And I told him, I'm studying away, like, it's great. And he's asked me, he was like, so why aren't you hanging out with people? Why aren't you, out doing things? You should have a good collection of friends now, like, you've been there since August. He was a big man on campus when he was in college, and he still thinks that that's, for some reason, how I should be. But he asked that question, and it was just one of those, that day was enough to push me over the edge. And as we were getting ready to hang up, I guess you could just hear emotion in my voice, and I was just going to be like, all right, we need to end this conversation. Like, all right, Dad, love you, bye. But right before I said bye, he could catch that something was going on and was like, I'm not going to hang up if you're all upset and whatever. And so we talked a little bit more and kind of come to the point where it was one of those, like, I do wish that I had, I think with me feeling that way towards them, it's a balance of I would like a community here that I can rely on and friends I can hang out with and talk about life and, live life with, since my real family is 3 hours away. So, like, just this weird balance of me wanting to spend time with them. I don't know if it's me trying to find the community or something, but it was fine. Resulted in him feeling bad, and now my mom's coming up this weekend, I think, to try to compensate for that phone call last weekend. But I'm excited to see her. She's bringing my puppy up, so that'll be fun. Excited to see both of them, spend time with them. But
It'll be good to spend some time with her and get your mind off of the stress of everything. Sounds like there's still a little bit of stress there, and it sounds like when your dad asked you that question, it kind of hit a nerve and maybe made you realize that you do want to be hanging out with people. Would that be correct? Yeah. So forming a community here is something that you would like to do.
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to do. I don't really know how to do it yet. There's something different about a college in Nashville versus a college in Auburn where I did my undergrad, because in Auburn everybody's 5 minutes from each other, so it's really easy once you have a class with people. You automatically have a community because you are all so close to each other. It just makes sense to hang out and do things. But here, sorry, I'm kind of sick. But here in Nashville, people are so far away from each other. I live in Franklin, which is at least 30 minutes from here, and then if somebody lives on the other side of Nashville, you add that in, and it's just not feasible for school to be the only way that you can get that community. And so I'm just kind of at a loss right now, trying to figure out how to build that. But
it requires a little bit more effort to kind of make those friendships, and then sometimes you don't have the time to really put that effort in. It's not as convenient.
Yeah, and I think it's also hard too because, like, I've made a couple friends up here. Like, I've gone to, so there's a church called the Church at Avenue South up here that's pretty cool. I think it would be awesome for people who live this far into Nashville, but for somebody who lives in Franklin, it's a good drive on a Sunday morning that I've been making for a while, but I've kind of decided that it's just not feasible anymore. And so it's interesting trying to figure out this balance because there's some girls there that I've become kind of good friends with. We have dinner every week, but I had to break it to them this week that I've decided I'm going to start looking for more churches, or another church, not more churches, another church, closer to home, so I can have a community where I am. But it's just difficult.
Yeah. So you're getting ready to start the church search over again, and you've kind of made some friendships over there, but it's just not feasible, you said.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings around this new church search that you're about to begin? How do you do that?
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings towards the church search. I'm a pastor's kid, so the political side of church I know very well. In the sense of church has always been what I've wanted it to be, because it's always been, I'm the first in the ministry. And so when my dad has moved churches, I was the first in the children's ministry, first in the youth ministry, first in the college ministry, so it's grown up to be what I wanted because I'm the one who started it, and I pulled people from the community and that kind of stuff. And so I am interested to see how it looks finding a church that's already established. That was kind of one of my issues with the church at Avenue South. They're really cool, but they're a church of people our age with zero community. And I feel like at this age in life, community is such an issue for people our age. And I know I personally struggle with it a lot. And so I feel like if you have hundreds, which they do, hundreds of people our age literally coming through your doors every Sunday, what an easy way, to make people have friendships and that kind of stuff. But it's such a superficial, hey, how are you? Hey, I'm good. My name's Claudia. Oh, you're just Shelby. Great. And then we never speak again. And it's just this constant thing. And so I'm looking for a church that's going to, I tried to explain it to somebody, I want to live life with these people. I want it to be a walk together and, that kind of stuff. And going to church together, but also doing the fun things together on the weekends. And, but yeah, I'm just interested to see if I can even find it.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like you're approaching it with a good perspective, though. Sounds like you really value meaningful relationships, and that you want to have that community of people that you can lean on. And so tell me more about this sense of community that you had. Why is it so important to you to have that meaningful relationship with other people?
I think life is hard. I think it's one of those things that the religious side of me is, I think we were made to be in relationships with people, and I think we were made to live in communities. I don't think we were made for individualistic life. I just don't feel like that is how we were made. And so it's just one of those things where I would like a community that does that, but
yeah, I think that's a reasonable goal to have, and I think that it's attainable, and we can discuss kind of ways to deal with that in here and ways to reach that goal. And maybe I know that you've grown up in a church where you've kind of started a lot of different things, and now it's different. You're going to a place that's already established, and they may have their way of doing things that's a little bit different. And that's probably difficult for you. And would I be right in assuming that it's difficult?
Yes.
Yeah. So we kind of process that in here, and it sounds like wherever you go, you want to be a leader there, and you really want to kind of get involved. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
That it's important to find. It'll be important to you to find a place where you can do that. So yeah, we can definitely talk about that in here and navigate ways, we can process the ways that this church search is affecting you, and how your want for community and your search for community is going.
Yeah, and I think I'm really appreciative of that, because I think it's going to be, as I search, it'll be more weeks without it while I find the right one that I then have to invest in. But, yeah.
So do you feel positive about this church search, or are you nervous? What feelings are kind of surrounding right now?
Yeah, I'm a little frustrated. I've never had to find a church before. In Auburn, it was very much of Auburn was the first place where I looked for a church on my own. And but through doing that, like at Auburn, if you're Southern Baptist, there's one church everybody goes to, First Baptist of Opelika, and that's so my choice is pretty much made for me. Like that's where you went, and First Baptist of Opelika also had a very big dorm ministry, which I was in residence life, and so it just kind of made sense. So that was where I was meant to be. And again, everybody's 5 minutes from each other, so when you're all going to the same church, because you have to, because that's where everybody goes, it's just really easy. So I'm definitely frustrated because I think I would love to have had a church by now. I mean, I've lived here since August, and I thought I found one, and then quickly I think the comfort of like finding a couple girls okay, I think we can get along. I think that comfort kind of tricked me into like, oh yeah, this is the church. But then just other things quickly made it realize that was not probably the place where I should be. So I'm a little frustrated. I don't know. I'm just not looking forward to being the new kid again. But yeah.
So being the new kid is just something that's not. It's kind of scary. It's a change for you. It's different than what you're used to.
Yeah, and I'm very much of an introvert when you put me in new situations. I don't talk very often, and it's something I'm aware of, but I have not figured out how to push through it yet. It's because a lot of times I think the kids who get more involved and find that community are the ones who are outgoing and like jump, yeah, let's do this and that. And that's just not how I am if I'm not in control of the situation, which I won't be in this way. So
you're an outsider. You feel like an outsider kind of stepping into another, right?
Yes.
And that can be intimidating.
Yes, very intimidating. Yeah. I don't want to do it again. I think I visited a lot of churches before this one where that was the feeling constantly over and over again. And there's definitely some relief when you think you found it, and now it's all getting stripped away again. So.
Well, we can definitely talk about your faith and your church search in here, if that's something that you would be comfortable with. And just kind of how to make those situations a little less intimidating and process the experiences that you're going through in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So I think that's all the time that we have, but I hope you have a good week and looking forward to the next time we meet.
All right, thanks.